Fellas, how in the hell are we doing here today? Today's video isn't necessarily gaming related, but it's an idea that I've been pondering for quite a while, and I'm finally excited to share it with you all today. Every generation, from baby boomers to millennials, and now Gen Alpha, is forever bonded by cultural and life experiences that shaped them. For those who don't know, a generation is typically defined as a group of people born within about 15 to 20 years of each other who share similar cultural and social experiences during their formative years. But it's more than just a birthday. It's the songs, movies, and moments that shaped how they saw the world growing up. Every generation develops its own outlook on life, curated by the media they consumed and the events they've lived through. We'll save the movies and life moments for another video depending on how this one does, but for now I just want to focus on the music because I see it as one of the most impactful art forms humans have ever gotten the chance to enjoy. For baby boomers, music was a snapshot of a world in rapid transition. Rock and roll exploded and inspired a rebellious youth, with many songs becoming rallying cries during anti-war protests and the counterculture revolution. If you need an example, just look at Woodstock in 1969. This was one of the most iconic music festivals ever, remembered as a symbol of peace, love, and unity in the middle of the Vietnam War and social upheaval.
It's about what's happening now, and if you listen to the lyric and you listen to the rhythm and what's in the music, then you'll know what's going on with the culture.
Then came the millennials, who grew up in a time of rapid technological change, globalization, and the rise of the internet. Music wasn't just something you listened to, it was shared, remixed, and streamed. Their music was soundtracked by a mashup of genres like pop-punk angst from bands like Green Day or Blink-182, hip-hop dominance from artists like Kanye West and Lil Wayne, and the EDM explosion of the late 2000s. For millennials, music meant freedom, self-expression, and connection. Think MySpace profile songs, early YouTube covers, and iPod playlists that felt like personal diaries. If boomers had Woodstock, millennials had Coachella and Lollapalooza. Not just concerts, but lifestyle events. And thanks to social media, a song could define an entire summer overnight. And now, the generation I'm most excited to talk about, and the focal point of this video because I'm a part of it, Gen Z. We're the first generation to grow up entirely in the digital age, and our music culture reflects that. We don't just consume music, we co-create it, remix it, and spread it through TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify. One of the defining traits of Gen Z's music is its genre-fluid identity. Unlike previous generations, who's often align themselves with one dominant style or subculture, Gen Z listeners grew up with instant access to every type of music imaginable, all just a few taps away. This constant exposure blurred the lines between rock, rap, pop, EDM, indie, and countless niche scenes. Artists like Lil Nas X can seamlessly mix country and trap, and A$AP Rocky can link up with Skrillex for one of the most popular rap EDM collabs that's garnered hundreds of millions of views and streams. For Gen Z, playlists aren't organized by a genre, they're organized by mood, vibes, or even memes. In this way, their music doesn't fit neatly into labels, but instead becomes a fluid, boundary-breaking expression of self. This new age form of music is less about owning a record and more about living in the moment that it creates. Parties, festivals, live stream concerts, and virtual DJ sets coexist with bedroom performances that rack up millions of views. And unlike other generations, our nostalgia forms almost instantly. A song from just 5 years ago can already feel like a throwback. Each generation's music inspired youth to rebel against the norms and crave more out of life. But I'd argue no generation has embraced the young and reckless energy quite like Gen Z. Maybe I'm not speaking for everyone, and that's fine, there are always outliers, but I think we grew up surrounded by media so readily accessible that made us want to party, travel, and experience life younger and younger. For me, I remember watching Project X in 2012, and as an 11-year-old thinking, man, I cannot wait to be old enough to go to a party like this. And the movie's characters weren't even of age either. They were all high schoolers getting drunk and destroying some dude's house, but it looked like the dopest party I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, I know some of you were thinking, well, I never wanted that. I just sat in my room with the lights off listening to Pierce Vale screaming in my ear for hours. And that's great, more power to you. But from my perspective, pop and hip-hop music dominated the culture we had back then and put partying, freedom, and early adulthood front and center. Looking back, you can trace clear themes in the music that defined our coming-of-age years, from the wild escapism of the party scene to the quieter moments of self-reflection. Each trend tends to tell a story about what it meant to grow up in this era, and together they paint a vivid picture of a generation in motion. I'm going to run through these themes with you here and provide songs that I think perfectly encapsulate what they mean. Number 1. Escapism as a lifestyle. Songs like Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi and Young, Wild and Free by Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg became anthems for living without overthinking.
So what, we get drunk, So what, we smoke weed, we're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out, that's how it's supposed to be. Living young and wild and free.
The goal wasn't a plan for the future, it was to stretch the night on as long as possible and soak in every second. These tracks celebrated spontaneous recklessness, the kind of nights you barely remembered, but still called the best ever. It wasn't just about having fun, it was about defining yourself through fun, turning wild memories into part of your personal identity. These songs weren't just party tracks. They're framed as fun as an act of rebellion and self-preservation. There was a sense of, if the future is uncertain, we might as well live for tonight, with lyrics that mixed themes of joy, recklessness, and quiet reflection, showing that even in the middle of wild nights, there was an awareness of the struggles waiting for the next morning. The escapism wasn't naive, it was fully intentional. Number 2, college culture as a rite of passage. I Love College by Asher Roth wasn't just a novelty track, it was a time capsule for an entire era's perception of higher education. It exaggerated campus life with its keg stands, skipping classes, and hookup culture, but it also reinforced the cultural narrative that the college years were a unique window of freedom before real life began. In many ways, the song became a self-fulfilling prophecy. People blasted it at dorm parties, used its lyrics as captions, and internalized that idea that they should be chasing that once-in-a-lifetime lifestyle. It was half a joke, half a blueprint, and it cemented the image of college as the definitive coming-of-age experience for a large part of the generation. Number 3, partying as a shared identity. Tracks like Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO or Last Friday Night by Katy Perry didn't just drop, they exploded. These weren't passive listening experiences. They were cultural moments that came with their own dances, outfits, and viral challenges. You could walk into a club, a basement party, or even a roller rink in 2011, and everyone would instantly recognize the opening beats. The tone for these songs was pushing the party vibes to the absolute max. Neon colors, absurd music videos, electronic beats cranked up to 11, and dance moves that were just as much about laughing with your friends as they were about skill. These songs defined a communal sense of identity. If you knew the moves or shouted the chorus, you were in. And the party wasn't just in the room you were in. It was happening everywhere at once, linked by the internet. Number 4, honest self-reflection creeping in. This saw the rise of tracks that peeled back the curtain like Kendrick Lamar's ADHD. It stood in stark contrast to the hyperactive party anthems by slowing down the tempo and focusing on the mental state underneath the flashing lights. It addressed the overstimulation of modern life, the constant pull of distractions, and the quiet mental health struggles that were starting to dominate generational conversations. By the early 2010s, artists were beginning to blend vulnerability with mainstream appeal. It was a shift. Suddenly, you could have a hit song that wasn't just about partying at all, but about the emotional fallout of that lifestyle. The music was starting to reflect a generation learning to be self-aware while still figuring out how to cope. Number 5, technology and virality shaping sound. For baby boomers, music was spread through radio DJs, live festivals, and record store discoveries. For millennials and Gen Z, the pipeline looked completely different. Songs could blow up overnight because of a viral YouTube video, a funny meme, or an iTunes chart surge. Viral culture wasn't just a marketing tool, it was part of the music itself. Artists tailored songs for shareability, building hooks that worked well as a TikTok clip before TikTok even existed. Dance challenges, fan-made lyric videos, and meme remixes blurred the lines between artist and audience. Music wasn't just something you consumed, it was something you participated in, reshaped, and helped spread. Each of these songs and themes shaped Gen Z into who we are now. Equal parts reckless, self-aware, and obsessed with living in the now. As a kid in the digital age, there was so much wild, crazy, and increasingly more explicit content pushed onto us so quickly that we all couldn't wait a second longer to grow up and live out these party hype fantasies for ourselves. I'm sure there's more songs that could also fit into any one of these themes and also justify it, but these are just the ones that I thought up whenever I was pondering this idea for myself. For me, these songs aren't just about nostalgia. They're time capsules of what it was like living in a digital age where everything was just a click away. But what about you? Whatever generation you're from, drop your favorite song or memory down in the comments and let me know how it influenced and shaped you. Like I said at the beginning, if this video does well, I'll probably post others talking about how movies or life events also shaped people we are today, so be on the lookout for that. And with all that being said, folks, I think that's gonna about do it here for our video today. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this because I would really appreciate it. But that's about it, everyone. Take it easy, have yourselves a good one, and thanks for watching. This has been Lunar. Gonna do a double salute, and welcome to Bound.